Hi,
Hello?
how are you?
Hi, Monique.
You look
Very good.
lovely.
Oh, I'm pleased I'm here with no technological issues
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I had to come live on a second time because it didn't work the first time. So I was like, oh my gosh, I hope the connection doesn't fail.
Oh, no, no, don't worry. I think it's all good from my end as well.
Yeah,
I do have a child at home who's 5. So I'm trying, if she
yeah.
comes in, I apologize.
Oh, no worries, it's all good. Well, can't get any more live than this. So
Yeah.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for joining me and welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you so much for joining me for another High Achieving Hustlers every Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm live here in the UK with Csilla as well. And I'm
Yeah.
just super excited for us to, be able to bring a lot of value to all of you young professionals, young entrepreneurs, and small business owners out there. So I'm super excited about today's guest. So Csilla actually founded the Beauty Grid, and I'm super excited to tell you about this. So Beauty Grid is an editorial website aiming to help millennial female readers with their ongoing background talk, their self-belief and confidence. And it's excuse me, it's all about a lighthearted conversation with women who are winning at life in whatever shape or form. They love humor too, so it's not so serious. Beauty
Yep.
Grid also features inspiring women and female entrepreneurs and shares their stories with their audience. They like to discuss the key areas of their expertise and share tips in business and life. They also invite guest experts to help women in all areas such as business, marketing, social media, life, and even beauty hacks. So it's not always business. Their mission is to create a website that they are happy to visit any day of the week. It will cheer you up or teach you something that you didn't know before. So with that being said, Csilla, I'm super excited for you to be here on this Q&A today.
Monique, thank you. I really appreciate your time, and it's I'm so excited to tell you all about my little baby that I created. It's really exciting to be able to talk about it. So thank you for inviting me.
Yay, excellent. Well, and I know we have a really great topic today too. So I know that you'd be like the perfect
Yeah,
person to talk about this.
yeah,
So first of all, can you tell us a little bit more about your journey and how you got started?
yeah. So I founded um, okay. So not going way too much back, but I'm a business economist, and I finished 10-year plus ago, and I worked. I never actually worked as a business economist, but I worked in sale roles,
Mhm.
and um, on some level, I always had the desire to run my own business, but
Mhm.
maybe because I was younger, I never really had the confidence uh, or the actual idea what I want to do. I just knew that I want to be some sort of
Yeah.
employed, or I work for myself. Um, I didn't find that I quite fit into the corporate world.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe most entrepreneurs feel that way. I don't know, but I was always gave my 100% in any jobs that I worked for, but I just didn't feel that I fit into that role. But what I knew that I love building relationships. I love talking to clients, and this is my niche really. I'm interested in people, so, and I love to hear their stories, what they do,
Mhm.
and in any shape or form. So um, going forward quite a few years, I had my children,
Mhm.
who I think one of them just came in. I
Run around
apologize.
somewhere, no worries.
and and So I had my children, and sorry, that's all right. I had my children, and I thought, okay, I don't want to. I decided, I want to go back to work, but I didn't know
Yeah.
what to do with this underlying, I want to be an entrepreneur
Mhm.
area of my life. So um, what I found, that there was a quite gap in um, having self, not having the knowledge of what to do and how to start it,
Mhm.
and getting inspiration from other successful, inspiring entrepreneurs. So what I did is created this website where I reach out to women, mostly millennial women entrepreneurs, and ask, what they do,
Mhm.
how they started, and if they can share any tips for the next generation, or these women who want to be entrepreneurs but just don't know how to start it.
Yeah.
So and I found it really inspiring. I really enjoy working with these women. It's obviously a great network opportunity. So it ticks all the boxes for what a lot of women I think are looking for.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what Beauty Grid is. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Well, I
Yeah.
just love your purpose and your mission and vision behind it. And I know that
Yeah.
you've been able to feature some pretty amazing individuals so far. So I'll
Yeah.
definitely tag your information below in the replay. So for those of you that want to check it out,
Yeah.
please follow We Are Beauty Grid. It's at We Are Beauty Grid, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so negative self-talk is a real thing, and especially as it relates to self-belief and confidence,
Yeah.
especially for women.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about why this is a big problem for millennial women?
Well, I think it's as a general, I think it's a problem for a lot of women,
Yeah.
not necessarily just millennials, but looking at history, and the millennials are definitely a generation of women who are are not afraid to ask for more
Mhm.
compared to previous generations, but they just the self-confidence issues,
Yeah.
I think, is just always there. And the millennials are actually a quarter of our populations as of
Yeah.
today. So we're talking about a large number of people,
Mhm.
and especially women who have these underlying desire, but they don't know what to do with it. So um, not having self-confidence in it can affect your life
Mhm.
in so many ways. I think in a nutshell, you are actually robbing yourself from achieving your highest potential, and
Yeah.
not only it will affect your career, um, but if you don't have the self-confidence to ask for a pay rise or a
Mhm.
better job, it, ultimately you are robbing yourself from achieving
Yeah.
your highest potential.
Mhm.
So it can affect your personal life, career, and if you ever planned to be an entrepreneur and you don't have the confidence, you don't want to be that, getting to age 60, 65 and
Mhm.
wished you had done something with it.
Exactly.
So I think, yes, self-confidence is just uh, it's just so important, but it's something that it doesn't just happen. It's something that I think women collectively need to work on
Mhm.
every day.
Yeah. No, totally.
So yeah.
Well, and I feel like the three are very intertwined. So self-talk, self-belief, and self-confidence. What
Yeah.
would you say are the major differences between the two? Obviously, since but they all like intertwine.
Yeah, so self-talk is mostly the internal dialogue you have within
Mhm.
it's you what your subconscious mind tells you,
Like the
and it's
words
your
you're
thoughts,
using,
your
and
beliefs,
yeah.
etc. Yeah. um and it can affect your performance, etc. So the self-talk will and the self-confidence, so self-talk will um affect your confidence, and that's how they entwine. So your internal dialogue has to be in sync
Mhm.
in with you, because if you're not changing the internal dialogue, your self-confidence will be ultimately
Mhm.
affected.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really
Yeah.
important to like pay attention to our language and just notice like our patterns because sometimes we're saying things without even realizing that we're saying it. Even if
Oh, definitely.
like yeah, even if they're just like really simple changes, right? From going from saying like I can't do something versus to like
Yeah.
maybe I can try doing something, right? Um,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. What are some tips or what are the top three tips that you have to improve your self-belief?
Yeah, so I think everyone sort of needs to figure out on their own what you need to really pay attention to, um, catching those moments when you have those self and negative talks. Um, and you have to uh, identify what those thoughts are, and you very quickly have to catch yourself and counter argue
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep. Yep. Totally.
um, and it's not an easy thing to do. I think, you know, it's just, I think it's practice. You know, I can't say and sit here and say that I was always confident in my ability to start my business, but um, having those moments when you catch yourself or doing something that's completely out of your comfort zone is working on those muscles that you know, your confidence muscles. So putting yourself out there and proving yourself that you are able to do something will your brain just understand that, yeah, you've done it. And most of the time we are stopping ourselves doing those things because fear and the idea of failure stops us, because that's how our brain is wired. And there's everyone is like that, but some people learned to not pay attention to those
Yeah.
thoughts, and or practice those you know, putting yourself out there every day. Going live is a perfect example. I hardly ever do live, as you can tell.
Yeah, totally.
and
Great.
and you know, but what is the worst that can happen? You know, there's you have a message to put out there which is bigger than you, that's more important than yourself. You know, your idea of yourself, and you just have to do it yourself. And the worst, I don't even know what the worst can happen. It's a insignificant thing what the worst can happen, because your message and your business is so much bigger than you, and you just have to keep going, and you have to practice and do it every day, day in and day out. And I think it's something that builds up over time.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I think that's so powerful, because it's like,
Yeah,
you know, if you're doing something that's in greater service to the greater vision of things,
yeah,
it shouldn't even matter, right?
yeah,
But, you know, you certainly can, you know, like definitely like obviously like practice and, you know,
yeah,
start just paying attention and noticing the patterns. And
yeah,
like same as you, like for me, like I feel like it's taking me a lot of time, because I'm definitely like, I grew up an introvert. I still kind of feel like I am. um,
oh yeah,
but I know with like the lives and stuff too, like I always just want it to feel like just girlfriends just hanging out, right? And like you only get more comfortable by just doing it more often, right? So just taking
yeah.
perfect actions. But
And
I
changing those little words that, you
yeah,
know, rather than see, you can't, as you just said before, rather than I can't do that, I can do it.
yeah.
And these are the reason why I can do those things. So if you are not good at public speaking, for instance, you just catch yourself and
Yeah.
say, okay, I am actually good, because I have given a speech here and there and there, and I influenced these sort of people. And of course, you can't argue with that. You've done it before. It's just it's a new experience, and you just
Yeah,
have to you just
absolutely.
have to constantly work on that.
Well, and then it also, it's all like mindset, right? And it's also like what
Yeah,
you're feeding your mind. So this is where
yeah,
like, you know, it kind of ties into the work that you're doing for women as well. Like, you know,
yeah,
creating this platform and creating this website for, you know, just all the good stuff, right? And just, you know, just
yeah,
keep filling your mind with that too. Because it's the
yeah,
same thing as like our diet. You know, if you're eating bad food, obviously it's going to make you feel icky, but it's the same thing with your minds. If you're feeding your mind just, you know, a bunch of like
yeah,
not so good stuff, like it's going to be the same
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. But you know, there's also something I've read the other day where someone posted on Instagram, you know, don't believe everything you think.
Yeah.
And it's just so true. I mean, I
Hmm.
can tell you many times where I've you know, I constantly network and I reach out to women, and some women will say not respond, and some will do. But having that having just telling yourself that these women will not respond to you is already, you are defeating yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden you notice, oh yes, this person's interested and that person
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
interested. And obviously there's always going to be no's, and I just think people are afraid of the no's,
Hmm.
um where in fact when someone says no, it's not a definite no. It could just mean that they need more clarification, they
Hmm.
need more information, or that's just not the right time. You know,
Yeah.
it could be the right time next year. You know, you're building a business. I think Amazon Prime has
Hmm.
made everyone very, very impatient with their daily, you know, I think they're guilty of creating this impatient
Yeah.
generations where um, businesses are not built overnight. And once you accept it, you just have to work every day and do the best you can.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have COVID and family and
Mm.
everything that's thrown into the mix, but
Okay.
you just have to enjoy the journey, and
Yeah.
that's all it is. Your
Right.
mental health is, I think, the most important thing.
Mhm.
You have to enjoy the work you do, and some days you won't enjoy it, but ultimately the end goal is to build something that you're proud of. And I have a daughter who's 5, and I actually do it
Mhm.
partly for her as well. You know, I just want to show that you're able to, you know, set an example. You know, just not
Of course.
don't be afraid to go after your whatever you want to do,
Mhm.
whatever you want to do. You know.
So true. Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
that's all right.
like like what you said, like businesses aren't built overnight. It's the same thing with
No.
like working on your confidence and
Yeah.
changing these thought patterns. It's not something that's going to happen overnight either. It's going to take some time.
No. No, definitely.
We had a question that was submitted as it relates to improving your mindset. Where do you draw the line between seeking the support from others and not relying on their advice and becoming dependent on others? That's a good
That's
question.
an interesting question. So, um, I have a motto in life. So I started my business not long ago. Maybe the idea started about a year ago, but really I just started about 6 months ago. And I have a little rule of thumb that I actually didn't share it with my family.
Mm-hmm.
That's my I shared it with my husband, but not my mom or my siblings. And the reason for that is they have a perception of you. Um, which you might be a completely different person what they thought you were, and they just don't see that how that fits with you, and they could be telling you that this is the stupidest idea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And actually Sarah Blakely was saying the same thing, the founder of Spanx, that she didn't share her idea with her family for
Yeah.
maybe a year. She's
Yeah.
been working on that for a year, and because she was selling fax machines, but she didn't share the idea. And the reason is because you don't want to go in
Mm-hmm.
um, asking for support, and then all you get back is actually defending your idea and
Exactly.
explaining why it's a brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
The idea only has to make sense to your clients
Mm-hmm.
and not to your family, because your family is potentially not your client.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I had a belief that I actually do my market research outside of my family and get the, you know, get validation from them rather than family. So um, I think it's important that you network and find like-minded
Mm-hmm.
um, friends who are maybe into the entrepreneur world,
Yeah.
and someone who supports you and tells you, you know, sometimes that this is they just don't get it, and you just, you know, but someone who will support you
Mm-hmm.
and picks you up on those days when you just don't want to, when
Yeah.
you're just only clapping for yourself, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a balance between, obviously I'm not telling anyone not to speak to their family, but this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
my idea, you know. um I That's what I did. You just have to find someone who will support you no matter what,
Yeah.
and take it from there, really.
Yeah, totally. It's interesting that you share that because I know like we've never met in person, but I feel like I've met
No.
so many like amazing women and individuals on the
Yeah.
internet, right? And we're very like-minded in a sense of like being able to talk about some of our business struggles. And I think that's really
Yeah.
important too, because sometimes in your close network, they could bring down your confidence as well. Just, like
Yeah.
you said, if you're having to defend yourself constantly. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Um, so can you tell us?
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, thank you, Collision, for the question. Okay, so can you tell us more about the work that you're doing at Beauty Grid and what we can expect next?
So the work I do at the moment is I did a interview with a professor last month called Jessica Coury. She's based in Canada, and which I didn't know it existed in Canada. You can do something called business studies. So
Cool.
what I do is I reach out to female entrepreneurs like that, someone who fits into criteria of female empowerment, and I do an interview with them, and pretty much what you do now,
Yeah, right.
but I actually just journal it, on my website. And I create content around female entrepreneurship and empowerment. And the idea is that we're going very well, and the subscriber list is just growing and growing. So obviously the content is needed, which is good. But what I would like to bring in is experts giving masterclasses on them, in their niches. So this lady called Jessica, her niche is community building. So she's actually a military spouse. So I really enjoy my chat with her, and I'm actually uploading my interview with her this week. But what I do is create content around female empowerment in whatever shape or form. I'm interested to talk to other areas of female empowerment. It could be a makeup artist, it could be a stylist, because I think, sometimes it's not an internal thing, sometimes an external thing, sometimes you don't know how to apply your makeup. You buy our makeup and hope for the best, so
Yeah,
it would be
totally.
nice to, and it's sometimes we just need the extra support. So my ultimate goal is to empower females in all areas in their life.
Love that.
That's the goal.
That's brilliant. Well, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Okay, so last question. I always love to end these Q&As with action
Yeah.
steps. What is the one action step you would recommend for professionals and small business owners as it relates to moving closer to their goals today?
I mean, it depends if it's a short-term or long-term goal. I think what I found very useful is just to get going and not overthink it. Um, Depending on what your goals are, there's a way of actually, there's something called the goal pyramid, which I found very, very useful. So on the top, you actually put your ultimate goal, and then you have to break it down into long-term, short-term, and daily steps of what you need to be doing, in order to feed into that ultimate goal. So, if my goal was, to, I don't know, raise my subscriber list to 5,000, then I would, for instance, underneath would go, I need to increase exposure on social media and advertising. But then how do I get that? So how do I so you just break it down each step. So it's called the goal pyramid, I think.
Yeah, brilliant.
People can Google that, and I think it's a brilliant way of just taking it step by step, and do something every day that is you feel productive. Sometimes you're not productive, but just don't put too much pressure on yourself, because ultimately you just have to enjoy the journey. I think it's so important that just you enjoy it, and even on bad days, just do something that contributes to that ultimate goal. So, but just don't expect to be a millionaire overnight. I've seen an advert last week. A lady is selling a program to be a millionaire in 12 months, and I think it's just it messes with people's brains. It's not realistic. She might have done it, but the reality is 99% of the people will not do it, not in 12 months anyway. So it's just to have a realistic expectation of you and enjoy the journey, because that's what entrepreneurs are set up. They loners, I think. They want to go on their own journey, and you just have to enjoy the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah,
that's so true. And that's exactly it, because I feel like a lot of the internet has really glamorized entrepreneurship, but
yeah,
it's really not that. Hey,
yeah,
Grace, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, hashtag imperfect actions. That's what it's all about, just like really breaking things down to like the smaller goals. And I love that goal pyramid because it's totally like
yeah,
a visual representation of how we can just break things
yeah,
down into like daily actionable steps. That's
definitely.
awesome. Well, thank you.
But it's something I really need to work on as well because I'm
Yeah.
not a very I mean everyone's got different skill sets. My skill set is definitely not around being organized.
No
It's
worries.
something I really need to work on. So and it's absolutely key because if you are organized, you are saving yourself so much time.
Yeah.
So you just have to know your weaknesses and what your strengths are and just really work on your weaknesses until you are able to hire someone who can
Mhm.
cover those weaknesses.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's
But Monique, I've seen some of your interviews. They're absolutely amazing,
thank
and
you.
thank you for doing this because I think it's a lot of a
Yeah.
lot a lot of, a lot of viewers will find it very useful. And thank you for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and, more
Thank you.
about Beauty Grid as well. I feel like, this has been a really good one. I know we covered a lot of topics all over,
Yeah.
but yeah, so everyone that tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. Or if you're catching in the replay, I hope you take a lot of notes. But for you young professionals and entrepreneurs interested in learning more, how can they get in touch with you?
I have a website called beautygrid.co.uk or Instagram we are beautygrid and just send me a DM if you've got any questions from any viewers or anything like that. I'm happy to answer to any DM, so just let me know or visit our website. If you subscribe to our list, I'll send out weekly content on female empowerment, so yeah, if you subscribe, then you can get that in your mailbox every week as well.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in or catching the replay. Please let me know your thoughts and feedback as always, or if you'd like me to have Chilla on again sometime. Any final thoughts from you, Chilla?
Um, no, I mean, I know you're in the UK, but are you
Yeah,
what off the topic? What are you doing
I
now?
know, right?
Are you here for a while?
Yeah, so I was to be here until for 2 more weeks, and then my flight got canceled twice. So I'm
Oh,
trying to figure out what to do next, just because like there's all the craziness going on, the elections are coming
yeah,
up too, and my parents like don't want me to fly during flu season. So I'm just like,
yeah,
yeah, I don't want to fly during that time either, but we'll
yeah,
see. So I'm here for the time being, but we're
yeah,
getting everything sorted out.
yeah. Well, hopefully we'll settle, and it's a really
Mhm.
terrible time for everyone,
Yeah,
but it will end one day,
yeah,
and yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, lovely to catch up with you, and
absolutely.
hopefully I'll meet you in person one
Yeah,
day.
absolutely. Well, thank you again. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And thank you again, everyone.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you very
Bye.
much, Monique. Enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.